Gonna find her. Gonna find her.
Chapter 1. The Beginning. Arthur's Note. Okay, just so you know, I don't like this show. Well, sorta, but not really. But my older sister really liked it, though, so I'm writing it for her as a present for her birthday. I hope that she likes it. Dedicated to my sister, Haley. Okay, beginning now. Sherlock walks into the flat 221 Street. He is wearing a scarf and has squinty eyes. Then he sees John sitting on the chair in the flat. The flat is pretty and has many books in it. "Hello, John," he says. "Hello, Sherlock," John says, but bitchily. "What, are you on your period or something?" said Sherlock, also bitchily. But John can sound way more bitchy because Morgan Freeman plays him. "You should know I'm not a girl after you spent all night sucking my dick," said John. John has the hots for Sherlock even if he has squinty eyes. I bet John has a squinty eyes fetish. "What?" said Sherlock, because he was deducing and not paying attention. "Oh, nothing. I guess that was a dream," said John sadly. "Oh, cool," said Sherlock. He's kinda dumbass. Lol. "Anyways, I came back from the store because Lestrade says we have a new case." "Oh, really?" John said. He got up and walked over to Sherlock. "Wow, that's cool." "We should go," said Sherlock. "Lestrade will be wondering where we're going." Sometime later. The crime scene was very bloody. It was at a museum. Everyone was there, even Anderson. Everyone's a bitch on this show, and so is Anderson. Anderson walked over to Sherlock, and there was some black chick by him. She kind of looks like the girl from Being Human. Lol, I love that show. You should watch it. "Hi, Freaklock," Anderson said. "He's a jerk, but he gets a lot of dick. He's like a pimp. Lol." "Why don't you go fuck a dinosaur, Anderson?" said Sherlock. "Jerk, and also you're cheating on your wife." "What?" said Anderson. Even though he's a pimp, he's still lame. And then he ran off, but he didn't fuck a dinosaur like Freelock said. "I know, I'm not that good, but the story isn't that bad. Please review." Then Lestrade came by, and that made stuff more interesting. I like him, he's cool. "Hi, Sherlock," he said. "How is the case going?" "Good," said Sherlock. "I think I know the killer." "Wow, Sherlock, you're so hot," said John. "What?" said Sherlock. "I mean smart," said John. "I know, right?" Sherlock says. "Can you tell me who the killer is?" Sherlock looked down at the body and narrowed his already squinty eyes. Then some white words, it happens in the show, guys, don't flame me, appeared in front of him. "The killer is Anderson," said Sherlock, "because he is a douche." "Ark, arrest him, guys," said Lestrade. "Thanks, Sherlock, for your help." "No problem," said Sherlock. "Cool." Then they took away Anderson, but someone was watching from the shadows. Someone who would want revenge. Author's notes. Please, and her. I'll write more. I have a great twist coming up. Chapter 2. The Skull. Arthur's note. Hate tours. But for that one person who liked my fic, thanks you three. Keep reviewing, guys. 2 days earlier, Anderson stamped through the doorway of the door. Inside was a bunch of creepy stuff, like a spider web and a fish tank with deadly fish and a hammerhead shark in it. And so was Moriarty. I hate Moriarty. I like to call him Mori-Farty. Anderson sat down at the table across from Moriarty. "Hello," he said. "Hello, Anderson. Why are you here?" said Moriarty. "Well, Jim, I was wondering if you could fix something for me," said Anderson. Get it? Because in the show they say, "Jim, can you fix it for me?" "Oh!" "What?" said Moriarty. "Well, you see, in the future, this guy called Sherlock," said Anderson. "Oh, I know him! He's awesome!" said Moriarty. Anyways, he arrests me in the da future, so I need you to kill him," said Anderson. "How do you know the future?" Moriarty said it. "Well, you see," said Anderson. Flashback! Anderson is in the 21 Baker Street when he touches Sherlock's skull. Not his real skull under his sin, lol. His unreal one on this health. Then he, dun dun dun, could see the forte! Flashback over. Cool Fasselback, said Moriarty. I know, right? You know, Anderson, you're really pimpin'. Well, it's true. Read the first chapter of my Sartre. So I think I will kill him for you! Thanks then, said Anderson. You're welcome, said Moriarty. Back at the flat in the present time! I wonder what Jim is doing now. Sid, Sherlock. Yeah, me too, said John wistfully. Last time we saw him, he was at the pool. Remember it blew up because you shot the bomb, then the water began to explode. Moriarty jumped away on his motorcycle copter, and his snipsers fired up their lasers into the smoke and climbed up them. I pushed you into the water below, and... Can you guys tell him trying to add more description to make it God? Saved us, Botg. Then Kyroft came in and saved us. We never saw Jim again after that night. Yeah, John. I know, I was there. Sherlock said. John did not like Moriarty much. He liked to call him Morifarty. Like me. Because Sherlock obviously liked him better. Sherlock was a smart man who needed someone to capper him in trust. John was simply a boring army doctor. He would never me as good as Jim. He looked over at the skull which lay on the shelf and had an idea. Okay, guys, do you like it? I added some more long bits, and I tried to make it good and put some good sci-fi stuff in it. Please read and review! Chapter 3, The Kill. I thought a snout. Thanks for all the reviews, guys. I really appreciate it. But I found so bold font on my computer, so now I'm going to bold some stuff to make it more dramatic. Present time. Sherlock and John were having dinner at Restaurant. Angelo was there. It's funny because Angelo and yeah. And they were eating spaghetti because that's what Italina people eat. Or maybe Angelo is Spanish. I can't remember. And Angelo brought over some candles, and it was nice. But then a guy with a gun crashed through the window and shot Sherlock dead, and he fell to the floor now dead. And John said, "Oh no!" and held him in his arms. A single tear dripped down his cheek, and it was sad. Every one of the candles in the restaurant was blown out. It was sad. Who, said John, will solve the case of Sherlock's murder if he's dead? It was a sad day. Back at the flat, John was sticking there, sad, when all of a sudden the door opened. In came a familiar face. It was, dun dun dun, Sherlock! Wow, said John. You're back. I know, said Sherlock. Wait, what do you mean? You died. No, I didn't, said Sherlock. What? Yeah, I didn't. Why did you say I did? Because you did. Humph, said Sherlock. Okay, said John, and then he went outside. Then he saw Mrs. Hudson, who was so housecleaner, and she said, John, I need to talk to you. Okay, he said. Mrs. Hudson said, look, Sherlock died. Yeah, I know, dear John. But hers here. Yeah, I know, said John. See, what happened is when Sherlock touched the skull, he thins he saw the future, but really his future self was shaped in his past self. So his past self died and his future self lived. Oh, said John, okay. Look, Moriarty is trying to kill Sherlock's future self. You have to help him. John thought about what would happen if Sherlock was a striper. I deduce that you are sexy, he said. What? Said Mrs. Hudson. Nothing. Oh, cat, bye, said John, going back. Future Sherlock was there, and he said, Hi, John. Hi, Sherlock. One day later. Okay, hi, said Anderson. You said you killed him, but he's still alive. I know, said Moriarty, because he touched the skull too. Oh no. Yes, which means that your past self has been arrested and is in jail right now. Good, said Natterson. No, not good. I mean, not good, said Anderson. Godo said, Jim. Anyways, we need to kill the other Sherlock, too. Okay. Okay. Wait, no! Pardon me. Okay, I'm a pimp, so I have a lot of money. Calls. One day earlier, Sherlock took the skull. One day later, at the flat, John touched the skull. Dun 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 dun. Arthur's note. Thanks for reviewing, Guzzy. Keep it up. 3! Chapter 4. The Mycroft. Present time. John told future Sherlock about the thing. We have, to go back in Tim, and kill the man whose skull it is, said Sherlock. If we can make the skull not existed, then he cannot die. Okay, said John. Don't you have Tart Friendy with the blue police box? No, he's looking for his friendis Bobby. Oh yeah, what about that Angle who can travel in TM, said John. No, he's God now. Get it, guys, haha, said Sherlock. So what are we going to do? Ideck. God, Sherlock, you're such a dumbass. I know, said Sherlock, starting to cry. No, Sherlock, don't cry, said John, and huged him. Thanks, John, said Sherlock. You're so nice. John liked future Sherlock. He's liked him when her real Sherlock only liked Jim. This was nice. Thanks, you're nice too. One day later, John was out buying silk when he saw Anderson walking on the street. Wait, I thought he was arrested. Oh no, said John. I have to tell Sherlock. Back at the flat, 0. Och, Sherlock, I saw Anderson. Yeah, so? But you arrested him because he was a douche. Well, he is, but I never did that. But you did, I was Terry. Oh, maybe that was my past self. Oh yeah, maybe, and then they had sex. One day later, Sherlock was shot dead by Moriarty. You bastard, said John, who was going to kill Moriarty. When all of a sudden Sherlock walked through the door. Sherlock, you died. No, that was my future self, said Sherlock. Oh yay, said John, and huged him. John, why are you hugging me? Said Sherlock. Oh yeah, John said sadly. He remembered that it was future Sherlock that liked him, not past Sherlock. So yeah, sad. Anyways, Anderson has escaped from jail. We have to find him. Damn that pimp. He escaped. Square bracket Ed. Yeah, I know. Let's go, said Sherlock. And him and John ran off into the horizon. Day later, all of a sudden, John died. It was very sad. Sherlock went to his funeral. Violins played in background. And John was in a casket all of a sudden. Dun dun dun! John walked in the door. Hi, Sherlock, he said. Oh no, you died, said Sherlock. I deduce that you are alive. See, that was my past self that died. I am fine. Oh, John. Oh, Sherlock. You are alive. I know, isn't it wonderful? Yes, it is. Meanwhile, I didn't tell you to kill John till I told you to kill Slarhawk, said Anderson. I know, I didn't kill him, said Moriarty. I only killed Sherlock, but he's dead. No, he alive, check. Anderson checked. Och, he is alive. Are you happy now? I'm always happy, said Moriarty. I have a motorcycle copter. Who wouldn't be happy? I see, said Anderson. No ways, I need to kill Mycroft. Why? Because he knows too much, and he is the government, and he is getting soccer. Okay, it'll pay you. Anderson gave Morty the money, and then he said good luck. Okay. One day later, Mycroft was found dead and was bathed into a cake that he couldn't eat because he was dead. The end. And since he never touched the skull, he couldn't come back. He gave Sherlock high umbrella, and the skull walked the whole team. Watching. Watting? Wachting. Author's note. Thanks for the reviews, guys. Keep it up. I'm waiting more tonight. 3. I tried to make the plot more interesting, so I hope it works. Tell me. 3. Chapter 5. Donovan's is this one, guys. Author's note. Thanks for reviewing, guys. You are the best! One day later, John was sitting the flat, watching the news and eating jam. Socially, it's Lal Popel eat on this show. They need more protein in their diet. All of a sudden, on the news, it said, dun dun dun, twist coming up, guy! Moirati was deader. Lord, I mean dead. On how, said John her, he couldn't believe it. It said Moirati had been killed by one of Mycroft's bodyguards, and his motor copter had been towed by the police, and they were having an auction. But that wasn't important part. Bocuse Moirati was dead, said John. This suck. Icker, said Sherlock. He was looking at the skull. Oh no! 2 days later, Anderson was dead, and it was sad, but not really. Case, he was a douche, no matter how much dick he got. And it was sad, and Sherlock was there, and so was John at the funeral. We will all miss Anderson, even if we has a jerk, said Lestrade. He was a good dog, both in sniffing and when we would have BDMS sex, and he wouldn't sniff my panties. I mean, when he did drugs busts. No, said Donovan, the bulk chick. I looked up her name so I could be like the actor show. D. No! I know, we're all sad, but we have to find out who did it. Sadie Lestrade, a lot of murders have panade, and Sherlock, would you like the case? Yeah, I would, said Sherlock. Yeah, I would. Cool, who do you think it is? I think it's Moriarty, because he's a douche, Sherlock said. But Moriarty died. I know, but some people come back because they touched my skull. I have also touched his skull, said John loudly, so everyone would believe him. And by skull, I mean dick. He said, quit, liar! We have to take him to a mental hospital, said Donovan. To mental hospital! Otto's note. Thanks, guys. I hope it is getting better. Tell me if the bold font is working, and if it's more like to show now because it has Donovan in it. Chapter 6. The Copter Boss. Thanks so much for Evie to him, guys. 30 plus reviews. One day later, Sherlock was chilling in the mental hospital when all of a sudden John came crossing through the wall, that is, and he was in a motor silky copter like a boss. Lol, I love that song, ear to big like a boss. John should eat more bag elves instead of just eating jam and milk. Oh, said Slayrock. Oh, yeah, said John. Hop on. Fuck the place, said John. What are Polyessay called in Eggenland, or wherever this is? Lol. Anyways, and they rode it off into the night. How did you get this? Said Sherlock coolly. Well, I went to the Selly bid thing and got it from Moriarty, or the Polius. Lol, I have to reread my own fanfictony. I'm such a saps, said John. But how did you get money? Not from Adnison, even thought he's a pimp. I sold the skull. Why would you sell the skull? Sherlock said. Why? To Pierre for the Helly. We have to get back my skull, said Sherlock. And they were out to dramatically go, and then they saw dun 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 Anderson! Chapter 7. The Anderson. On the street with a Sir Anderson. Anderson, what are you doing? Said Sherlock. Well, Freaklock, I was just going to fuck a dino, sir, said Anderson. Omgrelay, said Hesslerrock. No, not relay, you bum-ass. Brist's popel are so wired, lol, thy say stuff like bum-ass, said Anderson. Oh, said Sherlock. Anyway, what are you doing? What do you mean? Said Anderson. I mean, why are you in the street? I arrested you, said Sherlock. Oh, I got released, said Anderson. But you died. No, I didn't. Why did you think I died? Said Anderson. Because you did it on FXO News. It has to be true. Oh, I didn't. Bye, said Anderson, and he whacked off. Well, said John. What do we do now? We find my skull. Sinad, Sherlock. Guys, keep reading. I got a twist coming up. Hint, it has to odd with skulls. Chapter 8, The Scene. 2 minutes before, Lestrade was walking on the street when he was mutilated by an onion killer that he could not see, so died the end. I'm sad that I had to kill him, but it was to make the plot more interesting. 3 minutes at 3. John and Sherlock went to the paw shop, or lol, whatever it's called, lol. And then they got back the skull, and they went back to their flat on the motorcycle capotter, and they were in a flat. It 'twas pretty, and had many books in it. It also had some other stuff. Anyway, then John sat downward, and then Sherlock said, "Oh, look, Lestrade is dead." Said Sherlock. What? Said John. Oh, no. So they went to the crime scene, and he saw Anderson there, and he was sad, and Donovan and everyone else too. Lol. I cannot remember who the other police. Hello, Sherlock, said Anderson loudly. Do you know the killer? No, said Sherlock. But then he saw a little note written in blood. Lol, how do you spell it? And it was in handwriting that looks familiar to him. John, he said, look, stuff. John looked at it. Chapter 9, The Molly. 2 hours later. I just thought of a great pun. Anderson is a pimp, so he fucks dino whores. Lol. I bet he licks My Little Pony or that one show with the dinos in it. Or maybe Glee. I think the Mintine dinos in one episode. Lol. I hired Glee. That is why Anderson must love it both. Shay fucking Anderson's son Sherlock is just jelly or jam. Lol of Sia Pimpa Tude. Anyways, Sherlock was in the flat with John. The motorcopter was parked outside, and anyway, they were in the flat. Beware, I am coming for. Lol, that's what she said. You, said Sherlock, as he read it aloud the note in blooded. I wonder, but you are smarty, Sherlock. I am sure you will find the ass winner. Sherlock should be in Hufflepuff, said John. Sherlock, said Sherlock. Ooh, she is getting good. Whoops, I mean Sherlock. Anyways, let's go to the Molly lab. I bet he can make us some coffee. And maybe jam and milk, lol. And tell us about the know-it. I bet John would want Sherlock to be a Slytherin because Slytherins are hot. Lol, Tom fetched on for life. Okay, to the Molly Lab, said Sherlock, and they went on their copter to the Molly Lab! At Molly's lab, Jim from It was not there. LOL, because he's dead. But Molly wasn't either because she was dead too. No, Molly, said Sherlock. She was not hot, but he mad good coffee. Poor Sherlock, or should I say Shercock? Dramatic winky face, lol. But then they turns the corner to find none otter than... 'Tis is the Gib twists! Lestrand! Chapter 10. The Lestranda at the Molly Lamb. Hello, Lestrand, said Herlock. He could not sat he dead for long, because he's the only not bitchy character. Hello, Sherlock, said Lestrand. Oh, wait, you Eredida! Why are you not dead? Said Sherlock. Well, you see, I was in hell when all of a sudden I saw Moriarty flowing down on a boatful white wings that were attached to his motorcycle copter, and he raid me from Perdieton. Lol, Destiel for life. And whatever Lestrand Moriarty is... Wow, really? Said Sherlock. No, of course not, Dubmass. Sorry, Lestrand. God, you can be so dubbum sometimes. Said Sherlock. But you were dead, for reals. Are you just trolling me, Sardy John? And no one calls my boyfriend a Dubmass except for me. And then he punched Lestrand. Boyfriend? Said Lestrand. Oh! No, I mean friend, Tot is a boy, said John. Oh, och. Anyways, what he did you saw I saw dead, said Lestranda. Bouquet you were, I think. No, I weren't! You child be in a mental hospital. You already put me in one, though, said she Colk. Oh, snap, burn! I mean burn, lol, siab John. You guys are nuts. I never did that, bye, said Lestrand. What is happening, said Sherlock. I don't know, let's get out of here, said John. Otto's note, keep reviewing, oils. I got a twist coming up! Chapter 11, The Mycroft 2. One day later, Sherlock and John were wackling on the street when they saw Mycroft. Gasp. Mycroft, I thought you were dead, said Sherlock. No, I'm not, said Mycroft. But you were baked into a cake, Sherlock said. I would like to be baked into a cake so I could eat it, but anyways, I'm not dead, said Mycroft. You must be there for two, Mycroft, said Sherlock. Bouquet's past Mycroft is on a date. You're nuts, said Mycroft. No, I'm not, I said it, so it must be true, said Sherlock, lordly. I love you, Sherlock, said John. See, John agrees with me. I did you it, said Sherlock. Mycroft wackled away, twirling his umbrella. whose name is Lesty, and he likes to cudlate at Nerd and pretend it is Lestrand. Sherlock and John sat down. This sucks, said Sherlock. I guess my skull really gets around. I know, right? Said John. This is worse than when I walked in on my parents. John, I don't care, said Sherlock. Making Oreos, said John. Oh, said Sherlock. Lol. Wait, don't you have a bro named Oreo? Huh? Huh? Gasp! How did you know? Ooh! Said John. Because I know everything, John. Said John. Because I know everything. But there was one thing Sherlock didn't know. Other than that John has the hots for me. Lol. But it was still HDing in the shadows, waiting for the right moment. Did I scare you? Chapter 12, the short one. One day later, Sherlock and John were still seated there like hobos. Because they totally are, lol. Sherlock, we need to go home, said John. Why, said Sherlock. Because I forgot my towel, said John. So, said Sherlock. But I need see, said Sherlock. I mean John. Lol. Fien, let's go, said John. At the flat, Sherlock and John wackled in to find Sherlock and John. Author's note. I'm sorry this ON is her sort, but I am writing a super long, long one for you guys later, so yeah, I hope you like it. 0! Chapter 13. The Confession. At the flat. What I do not understand, said Sherlock. I can't deduce what is happening. John sighed and ran a hand through his sandy hair. I can't even understand what they're saying, Sherlock. This has gone on far too long. Sherlock nodded and tightened his scarf a bit. It was silent in the flat for a while as both parties stared each other down. Sherlock's twisted, squinty brown ones into Sherlock's own bright blue ones. Sherlock, what is happening? Said John. I don't know, said Sherlock. I love you, John. I love you too, said John. Wow, they really are nothing like us, said Sherlock. It's fascinating. Yeah, nothing like us, said John with a hint of sadness in his voice. Then he reached into the pocket of his jeans and pulled out a gun. Right, down to business. What are you future selves? Said Sherlock. No, we aren't, John sighed. But we touched the skull, said John. Oh, you guys think that touching the skull makes you travel in time? Of course it doesn't. Why would it do that? Well, we thought, said Sherlock. No, what it does do is make clones. Clones? Said John. Yeah, sure. Anyways, every time someone touches the skull, it creates a new clone. Each clone is further separated from the original. You two are the last ones of the batch. I initially discovered you doppelgangers after hearing that I arrested Anderson because he is a douche. While Anderson does have a jerkish nature, I have never arrested him, and after running into the real one, never having been arrested, I assumed that we had clones running around. What I never suspected is that there were also clones of Mycroft, Lestrade, Mrs. Hudson, and even Molly, said Sherlock. We had to get rid of them eventually, so we hired assassins to kill them off, but more kept coming, and we were having a hard time keeping track. That's when Sammy came in, said John. With those words, out stepped something from the shadows. It walked on all four, and carved long scratches in the floor with each swipe of its long, slender hands. From its vaguely human arms, bones screamed out from thinly veiled skin. Its skin. Oh God. Its skin! Pale and impossibly smooth, it stretched over each fragile bone and organ like latex over a ballon. A long, thin tongue swathed forward from its mouth and dripped across the floor with a hiss. And from beneath its long hair, two pupilless red eyes glared out. "Meet Sammy," said Sherlock. "She followed you around everywhere and then recorded your every action in an online diary. By reading it, we could figure out where you were at all times." John patted her gently on the head, and Sammy hissed in return. She whispered in a crooked alien voice that chilled like ice, "Hello, boys!" John then walked over to the shelf and gripped the skull tight with one definite hand. He glanced over at Sherlock, who nodded in agreement. "No!" said Sherlock. "No!" said John, and then John smashed the skull on the ground. Chapter 14. The Flowers in a Box. John awoke to the sound of paper fluttering. His head was still spinning from the remnants of the nightmare that plagued him that night. He had been slumped in the armchair. John rubbed his neck. From somewhere behind him, Sherlock murmured, "You fell asleep." John looked behind him to find Sherlock sitting at the desk. "I had the weirdest dream," John said.
Your skull?
It could do this stuff. He found himself grasping to remember. "A package came for you in the mail," Sherlock said, without looking up from the case file. John noted the two nicotine patches on his arm before getting up. "Guess the Charovsky murders aren't a three-patch problem yet," H thought. The box was sitting on the floor. John knelt down and thrust open the tape. He unfolded the brown cardboard to reveal flowers? A box of flowers. That's a new one. The army doctor then swept the flowers aside to find a manuscript hidden beneath. It was dirty and rugged up, with a lazy sketch of a skull on the front and just a hint of a tongue print beneath. "Flowers in a Box by Sam Licker 113. John's eyes drifted to the skull on the shelf as he flipped to the first page. And as he read on and on for the next hour, the skull still stayed there watching. Watching. Bang. Author's note. So yeah, guys, I suppose this is the end. It's been a fun ride. Tumblr. Tumblr.penworthy.com. Remove spaces. Love, Macy.
You know I'll bring her in sometime.